Okay, we need to talk about what's happening in Jamaica right now because nobody is talking about the coincidence, the shocking coincidence that Jamaica signed on to do and now is experiencing this Category 5 hurricane that's wiped out the friggin' island. My thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected, and now let's get into it. So did you know that Jamaica signed on to something called Vision 2030, where they want to change a lot of how Jamaica was, and they have all these fancy buzzwords, but what it really is surveillance, smart grid, smart technology, smart city. Kind of like what happened in Hawaii. As you can see on the website, you see the Sustainable Development Goals. That's Agenda 21. Now, Agenda 21, as we know, is the shocking agenda to do a lot of things to all the countries in the world, which seem good on the surface. Equality, diversity, inclusion. When it really comes down to surveillance, control, and basically a prison without bars, controlled by AI. Jamaica has a comprehensive plan for smart city development, including a new city project. How are you going to build a new city where there already is one? Oh, what happened to Maui? What happened to other places that had a smart city plan? What happened? The other thing I was thinking too is what happened to the hurricane that blew into South Carolina, where they found a massive lithium deposit, and then a hurricane wiped out the whole area. They're telling people they can't build there anymore. Vision 2030 Jamaica, absolutely shocking. The plan to test and implement smart technologies, improve your quality of life. Yeah, talk to a robot every freaking day. Real lifestyle quality there, dude. And then also drive economic growth. Do you mean economic units where they judge you based on carbon credits and there's no longer currency? Is this the whole plan? Let me know if you think this is just a shocking coincidence. But actually, I guess I didn't really say, how would a hurricane have anything to do with this plan? Unless, of course, you could do anything to modify the weather. But surely weather modification is totally fake and impossible, right? And it would never be used nefariously against innocent people. We'll talk more about that in the next one. Comment your thoughts below and follow for more. Okay,
all right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto those like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. The Lord is doing two things with that particular judgment. One, he's punishing Benjamin. I'll show you Jamaicans. All right. And I have another video too. I forgot to, if somebody had sent it, I don't know who did. Matter of fact, I'll play that next. Well, I'll play that a little bit later. But the Lord is punishing you, Benjamites, and simultaneously, because you trust your enemy, all right, and mainly is not the people, the poor people, which is a common trend, is a position of power. The people that's in power that made this deal to make it happen. So the Lord is using his whipping stick. Psalms 17. Let me get that real quick. If y'all don't know, by now, I don't know what to tell you. Psalms 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men which are of thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, whose belly thou fillest with thy hidden treasures. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Salakia. So the Lord's whipping stick, or the Lord's hand that's doing all this stuff, is Esau right now. All right, Esau. Job 9 and 24. And when would you learn that you don't fit anything of their future plans? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So if it's not Esau, who can it be? Like the man said, they have the power to cause these weather anomalies. They have the power to flood, and they have history. Same playbook. That's going to be a common trend. The common trend was yesterday Same playbook, Outbreak, the movie, and they did another Outbreak, which they did 6 years ago with monkeys, dangerous monkeys with diseases that so happens to find themselves crashing, and maybe one or two of them escaped or something like that. Now they're using the same playbook of they have an agenda. These countries made deals with these people, and that agenda is to remove the majority of the people in order to force these new smart cities, 15-minute cities within paradise. So places that are of paradise is now become hostages to the new world order. Okay? So for everybody that wants to go back to their country or this, that, to the third, you have nowhere to escape because this thing is coming. It's coming. All right. I quoted it. I'm gonna get it before I get the next video, since it's dealing with the islands. And there's another Benjamite as well. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 12:10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself." So this plan, you heard what the man said. It's about helping humanity and making less people in poverty and this, that, to the third. Well, they don't. Their intention is not to have majority of people around. Period. Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. You don't fit the criteria. We always say that their goal is to chip the majority of the people, which is their goal. But in reality, they want the world to be over 500 million people, which is more easy to maintain, to control. So what happens to everybody else? They making people disappear. All right. He is the Lord's whipping stick. So the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Shai, he's using them to punish the the nation of Israel. And instead of these people learning from previous, everybody knows the history of what he done to Jamaica, what he done to the next place I'm going to talk about, Trinidad, Tobago, all the islands. Yet you still trust this man. You still believe in this man, but this man wants to eliminate you. He want to take you out. All right. It says, "Beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped away a looking glass. That shall not. Thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he should stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou art the last. Remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh a wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner, and he's defiled with him and sins, who will pity? No one. All right. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. The enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will wipe with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversaries come upon thee, thou shalt find him first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet he will undermine thee. And he has done that several times. Guarantee this crisis that comes out of it is a great opportunity for the international community to quote unquote help that island and the people of the island. Bring in, and they're going to make sure that the eastern countries, Russia, China, has no involvement whatsoever, so they can have a foothold in that island. The same protocol every single time. And yet, you Negroes don't learn. All right. They're not blaming the poor, even though they have this fetish of good old Charlie, white man Charlie. They have that fetish with about him as the people that's in position of power that sold their people. Okay. Now, after a tragedy like that, the banks, real estate is on. It's on. And I'm gonna get one more, and I'm gonna get the next video. Micah 2, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. And for a long time, also too, Jamaica's been talking um, they was been talking a lot of smoke, talking about the crown when what's his queen, the last queen, evil bitch. They was talking a lot after she died. They was talking a lot. They was talking about England. They was talking about a whole bunch of stuff. So I won't be surprised if that was part of the IMF, because they have responsibilities in that too. All right. Yes, the U.S. controls weather manipulation. I won't be surprised if the IMF said like, "Yo, get this thing to going, so we could get down there and start this stuff up and have nobody in mind." This is all real estate. Okay, when the scripture said, I keep getting it, but I'm gonna quote it this time. Isaiah 14th chapter, that made the whole world a wilderness. This is part of making the world a wilderness. Okay, he mentioned Maui, he mentioned North Carolina. They find riches in these lands. Haiti, they find riches in these lands, and then all of a sudden, either a coup, travesty, something happens in these lands where these people go in there and set it up. So they passing these, they have plans. It says, work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. They covet fields. Fields is what? The world, land. They covet. So you own something. I saw the video. I should have put it up on the chat where the Jamaican lady was basically saying that the beaches in Jamaica doesn't belong to Jamaica. It belongs to England. You have to get permission to go into the beach. Here it is your island, but you dwell in, yet you have to get permission from them. Because they covet fields. Why just the beach? Take the whole fucking island. How are we going to take the island? The normal situation. The same play. All right? That play is what? A natural disaster. It says, and take them by violence. In the houses, they take away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So even a man that lives in that land, his parents, they oppressed them. Now, here's the flip side. Trinidad.
Ladies and gentlemen of Trinidad and Tobago, I don't want to bring doom and gloom or cast fear to any of us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, but I just came across this on our neighborly friendly TikTok, right? The Venezuelan defense minister directly warns TNT, you will receive a response. What do you mean by that, boy? What do you mean by that? The Venezuelan Minister of Defense, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, has issued a direct warning to Trinidad and Tobago, stating that the country would receive a response from Venezuela to any attack carried out in its territory. So what are you trying to say? Today, Padrino said that this response would be considered legitimate, right? A legitimate defense, and told the government to make no mistake. To those who sent a written statement from the United States, I'm referring to the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, so Guyana, all that, what should I say, too, and the government of Trinidad and Tobago, who have played along. I say to you, well, if they attack from your territory, you will also receive a response, and that is a legitimate defense. Olia, what's going on here? What is going on? How we end up in this problem? How we end up in this?
And this is what happens when you sleep with the devil. these situations. So now the islands, Benjamin, that's another clan of Benjamin, they feeling the pressure, okay, from another tribe, okay, and the tribe has every right to do what they're doing. This man has played you fools, and you trusted him. You all trusted him, and now he's causing all these problems. So judgment is coming. Judgment is here. And I'm gonna end it off on this because I'm trying to get this in the other channel. Zephaniah 3 and 5. It says, "The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not. For but the unjust knoweth no shame." So every day the Lord brings in judgment. And I passed the thing. So well, every day the Lord brings in judgment, and his judgment is against the house of Israel. All right. Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Israel consistently make deals with Esau and have not learned their lessons. That's why the Lord is only dealing with the elect. How much more do you need to know that this man can't stand you? So the Lord is using this man to punish you for your stupidity. And that stupidity is going to come for Trinidad and Tobago in the form of World War III. Because as soon as Trump had made a deal that he was going to go down there to attack Venezuela, Trinidad come over here, let's do this. We got the United States to back us up. All right? And you tribes are stupid. So he's crying. He's like, I don't how we got ourselves into it is your leaders. Once again, put you in a bad situation. Now you're foolish. So Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, Haiti, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, the only thing about Puerto Rico, they consider it the 51st state, but they move all the troops and everything like over there. What do you think is going to do with retaliation? So in other words, there's no escape. All right. Anybody that's from these islands, he's like, I'm just going to go down this and that. Nah, this is a worldwide event. This is why it's World War III. All right. World War III. Because somebody's going to retaliate. Somebody's going to get destroyed. These islands are not safe neither. A great judgment is coming to Israel, to everybody. So that being said, matter of fact, let me let this guy play off because he made me laugh.
Jesus Lord. We had a prayer. We can't do nothing else. We don't have nothing else. We have some wood ladder from some fire truck. Jesus Lord. Look at this now. Look at the kind of doom and gloom that lurking in our shores, on our shores. And the thing about it is, we can't do nothing about it. Because, but I can't say what I want to say here. Trinidad and Tobago, run, duck, hide, take cover. I'm not causing no panic, but this is something for concern. This is something to be concerned about. We are a tiny dot. And if these people can make these kind of statements, it is something to take into consideration to keep in the back of your mind. Right? So it means to say that if the United States launch an attack within our territory, meaning our waters or from wherever, then we'll launch back. And they consider it a legitimate defense. So, and they don't care where the bombs and the missiles and whatever drop. They just flatten everything and everybody. Right. I gonna dig a tunnel in this? Right. Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord.
And it makes me wonder too. Do they also have an agreement with this Agenda 2030? Are they also trying to get a smart city down there? No, man, I'm curious. I'm curious. This is hell on earth, man. So with that being said, shalom to the elect in the nation. Shalom.